I don't want to tidy, leave me alone.
Yes, or I do want to tidy, get to tidy.
Now, did you know that tidying up affects your relationships? And that could be for better or for worse, but we want to make sure that it has a positive impact.
Hi, we're Anxiety Specialists. I'm Michael, this is Becky, and today we're going to be talking about Tidying Up by Kondo and how that can affect our relationships. Now, I'm going to talk about this in conjunction with fight and flight.
Right.
Now, this is what we get into when adrenaline is released, when we sense a threat, some kind of danger.
Yeah.
Now, we can feel under threat from tidying or someone else tidying around us. And
throwing away your stuff, maybe.
Exactly. And the first thing that we tend to try is flight. We try and escape that danger.
Now, in the case of flight, this could be avoidance of something like going out. So you might be tidying and using that not to go out. So, this weekend I'm going to spend the whole weekend at home and I'm just going to tidy. I'm not going to go to that party.
Yes, exactly. We can use it as an excuse to stay home, stay away from the danger of being socially rejected.
Does that mean that we don't want social connection?
No, generally not at all. It's that fear of it not working out.
So we are desiring that connection, but it's the fear of failure that's getting in the way.
Yeah, we have thoughts like, I'm not good enough at small talk, or I'm not good enough as a person to deserve relationship with those people. It's an ironic cycle because then we're avoiding the very connection that we so desire.
Now that's something that I don't think many people know about social anxiety. Thinking that it's that they don't want connection, but actually they really do.
Yeah, and there can be a whole introvert confusion type thing.
Right. Okay, so another problem and avoidance could be avoiding having people come over to your place because, oh my goodness, it's a mess.
Yes, so people can worry that their place isn't tidy enough, it's not decluttered,
it's
and
not
people
Pinterest ready yet.
Exactly, and people might reject them for that, and so it can be put off until it's ready, and that connection can be put off as well. And again, still desiring that connection, but afraid that it won't work out.
The issue with that is we've seen that the Kondo method can take months, maybe even years, depending on how much clutter you have.
And you don't want to go that long without your connections. At most, you don't want to go longer than a day, really, if you want to keep your mood at a nice level.
Definitely. So what we want to do is get better at relating through tidying.
Doing that can activate the fight response with another person.
Really?
Now, the fight response comes in when we've tried flight, we've tried to escape from a danger, but there's an obstacle, something blocking our way, and we convert into fight to help us to attack that obstacle so we can then escape. Now, in today's day and age, that obstacle isn't often like a tiger blocking us into a cave. I find that it's most often another person.
Yes, or another person's stuff in this situation.
Or another person's going to throw away my stuff, my important stuff. If someone was in a relationship, say, and you were going through tidying up, you were going through a decluttering process, see, there's always going to be a person who's high desire, so in this case they'd be really wanting to tidy up.
Tidy everything! Throw it all away!
And someone who in comparison is a lower desire partner.
Keep the stuff, keep the stuff!
And this might be a huge difference or a smaller difference.
Yeah.
And that difference though could create a bit of tension. It could create a feeling of being trapped for either the high desire or the low desire partner.
Now we've been doing quite a bit of tidying up ourselves. It is quite an amazing thing to do, and there is a high desire, low desire partner in our relationship as well. I've always been pretty hardcore on the getting rid of stuff. Michael, not as keen.
I like my clothes.
You do like your clothes. And that does cause tension, and it's something to expect when you're going through this process, that one of you is going to want it more, one of you is going to want it less.
And the tidying might not just affect like a partner, it might affect flatmates, friends, family members, wider family members, children.
Yeah, and when it's wider than that, you can have people who are all gusto, like you should be throwing all your things out, and you can have the opposite side of things as well, where you've got people going, what are you going to do if you need this?
Now that fight response is going to be reduced by feeling a sense of power, of agency, where you no longer feel trapped.
So what the Kondo method does quite well is it talks about dividing up space, where you've got space for your stuff, they've got space for theirs.
And the idea is that you accept what's going on in their space and you focus on your own space. You can color coordinate it, you can fold things just right and get it looking amazing, and you've got control over that.
Now we want to take that a step further, not just dividing up, but also connecting. And how can we connect in this situation?
Well, we can connect by sharing stories about the items that we're either keeping or getting rid of, and we can then get a deeper understanding of that other person through those stories shared.
Also, we can understand what brings them joy. By watching them going through the spark joy process, you get to see what brings them joy, what makes them joyful, and that is so important.
And that can really deepen that connection.
Sparking joy is the big thing about this Marie Kondo method, and we strongly believe that joy comes from connection.
And connection comes from feeling heard, understood, and accepted. And that breeds intimacy or a deeper connection with others.
And that can also come on to how we feel about ourselves, feeling understood and accepted by ourselves and having a deeper connection with who we are.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us.
If you enjoyed that, we'll be making these every Tuesday, so please subscribe.
See you next time.